Welcome to the Middle-Raged Podcast, where your hosts, Adam and Keith, get a bit cross about stuff that really doesn't matter. Bless them. Oh, and we should probably warn you that things can be a bit sweary at times.
Hello and welcome to this episode 27 of the Middle-Raged Podcast with me, Keith A. Pearson, and my co-host, Adam Eccles.
Good morning. Oh, not good morning anymore.
Afternoon.
Yeah. We've been talking for so long. It was morning and now it's not.
And soon it will be evening.
There you go. So good afternoon, good evening, good night.
Yes.
But there we are. Hello, listeners.
Hello. And should we start? I think it's customary, right? We cannot let the heat wave pass without mention, I think, because it's become our thing, really, isn't it? Just talk incessantly about fucking weather. And it's apparently 30-something degrees here.
That's illegal.
In Surrey, which is, what's that in imperial terms? Getting on for 90-ish, about 90 degrees?
Something like that. That's nasty. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is real. That is real weather. You know,
it is. We're not designed for it, are we? We're just not set up to cope. So as people will know who listened to the last episode, I recorded that from South Carolina, where it was significantly warmer, but I recorded that in a nice air-conditioned room.
Yeah.
I had no such luxury here, even though it's 7 or 8 degrees cooler here. I feel considerably more sweaty.
Yeah, well, not to dwell on this too much. I probably said this before. I do have an air conditioner in this room, very room where I am, and yet I couldn't possibly use it because it would sound like I was on a propeller plane, right? Because it's so fucking loud. But the in an American air conditioned house, you don't hear that because it's somewhere else and it's just blowing nice cold air around.
I don't think the listeners really appreciate the sacrifices that we make to deliver this tosh.
Headphones on, sweaty ears.
Yes.
Yeah, we sat here roasting in undercrackers, or are we?
Some of us might be completely au naturel.
There you go. Well,
you wouldn't want to do that on a sort of synthetic leather seat, though, would you? That's going to make all sorts of weird noises as you move.
Mine is, you could sit on a towel, I suppose.
Yeah, could do. Yeah, there's a vision for you, folks. Don't let that one dwell. So, on the subject of weather, something I've noticed which has become a phenomenon is that and my daughter keeps sending me TikToks about this, that people come from hotter climes like Australia, America, South Africa, are complaining about the heat in the UK, saying it's more savage than the heat at home, which
there you go.
I kind of find that hard to fathom, because if it's, say, for example, 37 degrees in Australia, how the fuck is that any better or any better than, say, 30 degrees in the UK? It can't be, but it's just 7 degrees hotter. How can it feel hotter here?
It's something to do with the humidity, I think. And this is a weird thing, right? I've been in America in February where there is snow on the ground, and yet it's sunny and you could pretty much walk around in a shirt.
Really?
And those two things coexist, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Because that doesn't seem like it's possible, but there it is happening. And I don't know exactly. It's something to do with the humidity, like that it feels different. But I don't know whether it's more or less, or how does that work exactly?
Well, according to our favourite new friend, ChatGPT, the reasons behind this phenomenon, the humidity, as you've outlined, is because we're an island, I guess, and apparently the humidity slows down the body's natural cooling, sweat evaporation, making it feel stickier. And slightly more oppressive than, say, I don't know, fucking Arizona or Mojave Desert or something.
Right. Interesting.
Now, this one is more, I think this one actually has more legs. And it's UK homes, which are specifically designed to keep heat in.
Yes.
And they're made of brick and clay tile, right? So if you think about it, your house is acting like a massive fucking radiator. I'm swearing a lot. I apologise this afternoon. So the bricks absorb all the heat and the tiles all day. And then, of course, they radiate it at night. Now, I don't know how that affects it. And, of course, couple that with a lack of aircon.
Yeah.
And
sitting in an oven. Yeah.
You are literally sitting in a kiln or trying to sleep in a kiln.
That's not good.
And with no aircon. You've just got some piddly fan that's sort of wafting warm air around.
15 quid Argos fan twisting around and making the weird noise. But just blowing warm air at you. That's no good.
But we don't have things like, ceiling fans either, do we? No. I mean, literally, we have nothing.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that plays into it a bit, because it's also there is the expectation element, because people come here expecting it to be grey, maybe drizzly, and at best sort of 22 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's possibly a psychological element to it as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes. Definitely, you're in England. You expect it to be Coronation Street or EastEnders, and it's grey and miserable and drama full, right?
Yeah.
But maybe it's
full of Northerners.
Well, it depends on where you go, but that may or may not be true. Yeah.
If you're looking for the real Coronation Street experience, head to Manchester.
There you go.
Well, so I guess that's the reason why there is this. They perceive it as being hotter when in actual reality it's not. So, I mean, listen, we moan about it all the time. So I suppose it's only fair that people visiting the country are also allowed to complain.
I suppose so.
And there is that thing that you just can't escape it here, can you? It is
right.
Unless you are one of the very fortunate people that have air conditioning in their home.
Yeah. My recommendation is spend a lot of time in the freezer aisle in Tesco.
Yeah.
Or Sainsbury's or whatever, Asda. Or WH Smith, they were always quite cool, aren't they, inside?
Well, they were, but most of them have closed down now.
Oh, really? Didn't know that.
I mean, they're still... Actually, I think they're rebranding. They've come up with some weird name that...
no.
Yeah, it's. But I think this time next year, the WH Smith's name will have gone the same way as Woolworths and Dixon's and Radio Rentals. Yeah,
bloody
sad
hell.
Times.
Wow, there's one for the books.
We should do an episode. I think with a slightly nostalgic slant where we could discuss. Or we could rant about the shops that were around that are no longer around that probably could still be around.
Yeah, well, yeah, we did that in Retrolist, didn't we?
We did, yeah. But we can have a ranty angle.
If there's, you're right, I see what you mean. Yeah. And add WH Smith to the list. Wow.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it would be a rant that these shops don't. I mean, how many people bought their first single from WH Smith's or Woolworths or Our Price for that matter? And they're all gone, on the verge of all being gone. And I think this is cultural vandalism. Okay, that's what I think we should call it. That
right.
These things are being destroyed, and us poor Gen Xers are seeing our childhoods and adolescent years kind of stripped away before our very eyes. Yes. Nobody in 20 years is going to look back and go, oh, do you remember the first song you downloaded on Spotify?
No.
Nobody.
No, that's a good point.
So maybe, I don't know, let us know, listeners. What do you reckon? Should we have a slightly sort of nostalgic episode where we can rant about stuff that no longer exists?
Yeah, let us know. Feedback.
Okay, good. Right. We should probably get back on script now, I guess. So,
yes.
I believe we have some catch up from previous episodes, do we not?
We seem to. Yes. So lots of feedback this time. So thank you, people. So Denise on Facebook says, and this is calling back to the Stop Pissing Around with Products episode.
Kit Kat Gate, as we're calling it.
Yeah, right, yeah, because the Japanese have 58,000 flavours of... So now we've got, apparently, pink digestive biscuits, raspberry and cream. Don't know where I stand on that.
Listen, chocolate and a digestive, you've got two options, milk or dark.
Yeah. Pink.
That's it.
That's getting into the weeds now.
That's going to taste awful, isn't it?
It'd be a bit weird. I mean, I don't know what they're aiming for there. Well, I suppose it's this biscuit revolution that we've heard about, right? You know, wasn't there some designer at some biscuit company revolutionized something by dunking it in chocolate?
Well, chocolate is acceptable, and you know, I think we're all used to that. But if you want a raspberry and cream digestive, buy a pot of raspberry jam and a pot of clotted cream, and like a scone or scone, depending on your preference. Just put that on, and then you can make a little sandwich, couldn't you? A digestive sandwich with raspberry jam and clotted cream. And I would say that would be acceptable.
Yeah, I suppose so. If you, then it would be like
I hear hesitancy in your response there.
I might suggest strawberry and cream instead of raspberry and cream.
As strawberry jam, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, not an actual strawberry.
Well,
that would be a weird balancing act, wouldn't it? Trying to squidge a strawberry between two digestive biscuits, which is going to give... I don't think the digestive has the integrity to press that down. Yeah.
That's true, yes. It would just crumble, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And the juice of the strawberry equally would...
make it all soggy, yeah.
You're just going to end up with a mess, aren't you?
Yeah, no, this is ridiculous. Stick to your normal digestives. Stop pissing around with products.
Yes. Leave it alone. And then, yes, we had some feedback on our American special, our last episode, from our favourite American dude, Gabe.
Yes, cheers, Gabe. Nailed it, guys. Possibly my favourite episode yet. Well, good stuff. We do try to please our American cousins. Thank you.
We do try.
But he also says, tipping is not mandatory everywhere, though tipping is standard. It's usually only baked in as a line item for larger parties. Okay, so if you show up with 8 people at a table, at that point, they just assume they're going to get tips or force you to give a tip. Is that more...
I don't get that, because ultimately, if you've got 4 tables of 2 people, that's more work than 1 table of 8, right?
It is, but I think what the implication is here is that the table of 8 are going to be rowdy.
What if it's 8 nuns?
Yeah.
They're not giving it large, are they?
In Chick-fil-A or Bob Evans or somewhere. Being very quiet and peaceful and not rowdy at all. Why are they subjected to the mandatory tip?
Did I mention, I can't remember, and this is probably an age thing, in the last episode about the tipping thing, did I mention a visit to a soccer stadium?
I can't remember.
I'll keep this very brief. Right. Soccer stadium, half-time, went to get a hot dog. Queued up. There's a self-service, like a screen, like you have in McDonald's these days. So you go up and you tap the screen to order your food.
Really?
Hot dog and a Coke, whatever it was.
Yeah.
You pay for it, tap, right? Behind the counter, a woman turns around, picks a hot dog up and a bottle of Coke, puts them on the counter. Yeah. The thing is saying tip, right? And it was, I think it was 15, 20, 25%. So I wonder if Gabe, in his part of the US, is probably not so prevalent. But I'm thinking, why are they asking for a tip just to pick something up and turn around and put it on a counter, right? That is outrageous.
That's taking the piss now.
And that is definitely, I was not a party of 8. Okay. And there was very little justification for that person to deserve anything from me for just literally turning around and saying, here's your order.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been a vending machine. You're not going to tip a vending machine.
Could have been a robot, yeah. Literally could have been, there was nothing in that. And I was thinking, actually, in that type of venue where they're processing, the stuff is expensive. So that's like $14 for a hot dog.
Jesus.
And $6 for a Coke, right? And if they're processing like one order every minute, which they probably are, they're asking for the same tip level as somebody who's serving a table over 3 hours, 2 hours maybe in a restaurant.
Isn't it?
So that's a racket then in that case, because somebody in that environment getting 20% tip is going to be on, God knows what they'll be earning. If they're doing 60 customers an hour and the average tip is, $5?
That's a decent business to me, isn't it?
I mean, that you're talking that you're over $100 an hour there, aren't you?
Fair enough.
Anyway.
Do you think that girl behind the counter doing the hot dog, does she actually get that tip, or does it just go into a pot?
Isn't it? It makes you wonder because it's going into the till. It's going into the system via a card.
Yeah, there's no cash there, so
I'm going to guess probably not. And I also understand when they tax tips. I don't know if that's changed recently. I heard something, but I'm pretty sure it was taxed. Has it? Right? And do you know what? If that is the bulk of your wage, then it kind of should be. You can't have it both ways. You can't have employers saying, oh, you get a very low wage, but you get lots of tips. And then saying, well, we're not going to tax the tips because that's unfair, right?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make
either
sense,
pay them a full wage and tax them or say, no, you can't, but we'll give you tips, but then tax the tips. It just seems unfair to me.
Yeah.
But I'm not American, so...
Well, and basically, we're still saying, despite all evidence to date, the American system is broken.
Yeah, we are. It is not a dream.
No, it's just too complicated and too specific per unique location. Just make a system and stick with it. Stop it.
It is a system. It is basically just a collection of sort of independent states, stroke mini countries, really, isn't it? All with different rules and regs and attitudes and climate and God knows what else.
True. Accents.
Anyway. Accents, bears, guns, people in cowboy hats, rednecks. Just spin through a list of random stuff now.
They all exist. These people exist.
They do. Should we crack on and get on with the main rants?
Let's do that because we've gone long today and we haven't even started. But let's go.
So this week we are enraged about stuff that's just poorly designed.
Yes.
Okay. And something that we haven't done before, but we did on this episode, was actually sort of tell people on social media what we were doing before we recorded it. And we've kind of decided that that's actually a good thing now because we've had some feedback. What are we going to call this? This is not feedback as such as it is.
Input.
Let's go with input because it's the right word.
Right. Okay.
So we had some feedback. Before we even get to kick off on the stuff that we want to talk about, we've got some of our erstwhile and dear followers, stroke listeners, who've chimed in with their thoughts.
Right. So first on the list is Sue. Hello, Sue, and thank you for your lovely emails, by the way. But also, Sue just drove to Manchester. I mean, first off, I'm really sorry to hear that. I don't know why.
Prayers.
Terrible business. But 4 hours, fucking hell, wow.
We don't know where Sue was driving from. I mean, Sue could drive like an absolute fucking lunatic, right?
Yeah.
She could live in
Edinburgh,
Kent or somewhere, right? So 4 hours, she could have been hammering along the M40 at 100 miles an hour plus. So Sue could be a psychopath behind the wheel. So
definitely,
right.
She's got those eyes. Not really.
Demonic.
Yeah. There you go. So, but apparently, she tried to find a car park using a postcode. I imagine what she means is she plugged that into Google Maps.
Yeah, or sat nav, yeah.
and it took 45 minutes driving around a one-way system because they hadn't taken into account. So I assume she means Google Maps didn't understand that it's a one-way.
I'm going to guess I've fallen foul of this, right? So a postcode is not a street address, right? It's a block of... So if you took your average street in the UK, a postcode might cover... One postcode might cover, I don't know, a couple of dozen houses.
Oh, really?
So in a city centre, it could cover an entire block.
Right.
And I have fallen foul of this where I don't think it was a car park. I can't remember what it was, but it was the opposite side of a block and I could not find it.
Yeah.
So now if I'm going somewhere and I need to go and it's not somewhere I know, I will always go to street maps beforehand.
Yes.
To double check that it is where it is. Because Sue is absolutely right. There are many locations like this where the postcode will only get you within 100 yards. And there could be all sorts of traffic and one-way systems and you just get trapped in this doom loop of going around and around and not being able to sort of find the thing that you're actually there for.
Yeah, so a similar situation happened to me in Cork City a couple of years ago. I was trying to find a hotel and there's a weird one-way system there, and I got caught in this horrible loop of traffic and missed the bloody turning and had to go all the way around again, which took like an hour. It was brutal. But yeah, not good. So
postcodes,
don't use postcodes. No. So in Ireland, we have an air code, which is slightly different, but that is unique per actual building.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ireland's done something good.
Yeah.
But you also have to take your recycling to Tesco's once a week. So
there's that. Yeah, that is.
Are you still doing that?
Long story short on that is that I've stopped buying anything that comes in a can or a plastic bottle.
That's kind of what they want, though, right? So it's kind of worked, I suppose.
Yeah. It's not entirely possible. So, I still have to buy the odd sparkling water or whatever.
You're not brewing your own Pepsi Cola or Stella Artois.
Well, no, instead it's just it's cartons, cardboard cartons. Okay. You don't have to do that with those, right? So I have minimalized my recycling intake and therefore minimalized my output. And I've also got to the stage where it's not worth queuing up and getting covered in sticky dribbles to get back to €2.50. Yeah. Oh no, I'm outed.
Look up Adam on
sticky dribbles.
Pornhub or your favoured porn website of choice. Anyway, sorry.
Only fans, but disappointed.
Yeah, only disappointed fans.
Yes. So what was I saying? Yeah, so I don't buy. I don't have to do that anymore because it's not like I've got like €2.50 a month of stuff, and I just can't be asked with it, and I just put it in the normal.
You've got quite a big garden there, though, haven't you? So you could sort of start your own landfill business. Get all your neighbours over.
Yeah, probably
have landfill parties.
Highly illegal, but okay.
Oh, what isn't these days?
Well, yeah, a bit of fun. Black market bottle recycling.
Following on from Sue's gripe about postcodes, this is an interesting one. So Sue states this is unique to her. She can't open the kitchen window because she's too short. The sink is in the way. And obviously she needs a sink, right?
Right.
So she has to basically conscript one of the offspring to open a window for her.
Yeah. I know what she means because it's the angle of the, you're not built to be Mr. Tickle, right? So So you have to sort of lean and it's further away than it looks and therefore you can't reach it.
And there's normally stuff on the window shelf, right? So you've got to navigate that.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, yeah.
I'd say that is a problem, but I don't know how the only way you could overcome that is actually making the window lower.
But then it would be behind the sink, you see, so,
But then you, I think it. I don't know if it's such a problem for Sue, and in fact, a few others have actually chimed in with this to say, yeah, it is a problem for, should we say, the more vertically challenged humans amongst us,
right?
But I don't know if demolishing the rear of your house and rebuilding it with a slightly lower window ledge
it's a bit of a long way to go, isn't it? Yeah.
Seems a bit extreme.
Surely there could be some sort of gadget stuck to that window that, you control with your phone. There's an idea.
Or you could throw a brick at it every time you want some air.
Do it. That would definitely do it. Be a bit messy.
No messier than knocking down the back of your house.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But there is a problem there to be solved. Extendable arms.
Yeah, some kind of robot arm or... one of those things that you pick up rubbish with.
Yes.
What are those called?
Litter picker thing, yeah.
There you go. Something like that in a drawer by the sink.
Or stilts.
There you go.
I'm sure you can get stilts, right? So I appreciate that would be an extra. After a while, though, it'd be like putting on slippers, right?
Yeah,
you just
get
put your
used to
stilts
it.
on. Yeah. And you'd be 2 feet taller, and this would no longer be a problem.
There you go.
And you'd have the extra benefit of being able to use the top shelves in your cupboards.
Right. And
which are probably out of bounds at the moment, I'm guessing.
You get used to, knocking your head on the door frame as you go by.
But dusting on top of the fridge, these types of things. Yeah.
Picking up stuff in Tesco's even, where they have stuff on the top shelf. God. No worries at all.
Revolutionise Sue's life here. Driving would be problematic. You'd have to really push the seat back.
Yeah.
But I reckon if you became...
Specially adapted vehicle.
You could just put long trousers on with some shoes on the bottom of the stilts and no one would actually know.
Of course not. Be fine.
Imagine meeting new colleagues, right? And then there's like 6'5" Sue. And then they just assume Sue is just super tall, and then they finally find out her secret. All the time there she was, lording it over them.
Yeah,
we've really gone off on a tangent here.
It's those beach days that would kill it, right? The bikini, you wouldn't be able to hide it then.
Stay away from the beach. But apart from that, we think that's a foolproof plan.
Rock and roll.
There we go. We've solved your problem for you, Sue.
All right.
Okay. But not Denise's.
No. So Denise also has a problem about hoovers. So there's vacuum cleaners.
We should say vacuum cleaners.
Yeah. For anybody who doesn't. Well, do they say hoover in America? I bet they do.
Not in my experience.
J. Edgar.
Yeah.
Okay. So, vacuum cleaners that need, I agree with this. I didn't more cleaning and fiddling than actual vacuuming. Yeah, I've got one that you seem to have to take it apart like an IKEA table, knock it all out, and then of course the dust doesn't come out, and you have to put your finger in there, and there's nasty crap in there. You need like a chopstick. That's my pro tip. A chopstick to push through the little weird holes that you can't get the junk out of. But then you're standing outside by the fucking bin, and of course that's when the wind blows it all the dust into your face. Pain in the ass.
But it does tie into the whole theme of things that are just poorly designed. Because if you've got to carry a chopstick around with you just to clean your, just to vacuum your carpets, that's not right. And Denise is absolutely correct that I've now owned 2 separate cordless vacuum cleaners, right? Not one of them, and the last one was very expensive. It was a Dyson, and they promised 25-minute runtime, right?
Oh yeah,
which should be more than adequate to clean an average home. Yeah,
you'd say so.
Not a fucking chance, right? You get you do 1 bedroom and the landing and half the stairs, and it dies.
Yeah,
so you got to wait 2 hours to finish off the rest of the house.
Are you doing the shake and vac dance?
No. It could barely pick up the
actual crap.
And actually, Heather, also on Facebook, regarding cordless hoovers, says they're crap at sucking. I've gone back to fully corded. We assume she's talking about a vacuum cleaner here and not some sort of sex toy.
I shouldn't assume anything, but
probably not.
Basically, I mean, I'm hoping that was the context. But
Heather's gone fully corded again.
Fair enough.
Okay,
that's good to know.
But it's batteries, isn't it? I mean, Jesus wept. In this day and age.
I mean, my car doesn't need to be plugged in, to charge it. I mean, but I don't. The battery technology does exist. I suppose you don't want a 2-ton Hoover though. That would be a bit.
I think that'd be a good workout, right?
Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah, if you had to.
But it's again, and this just to sort of pull us back to the theme of this episode. It is poor design if something that is sold as it's a vacuum cleaner, right? So its job is to clean a house, not to clean one room, put it on charge for an hour, clean another room, put it on charge for an hour, right? I mean, who's got time for that?
Yeah.
So do not sell us a vacuum cleaner that you claim can run for 25, 30 minutes when basically you can get 10 to 12 out of it. It's the same with cars though, isn't it? They say the mileage is 300, the range is 300 miles. It never ever is it?
Yeah. It's all lies and deceit, unfortunately. And that is part of this, yeah. So, okay.
Do you think we should crack on with the actual content that we prepared?
Yeah, let's do that then.
Okay, I think we should just rattle through some of these because, dear listeners, this is one that we could go on and on and on for. So what we are thinking is that we're going to rattle through our list. We will not finish it. So we will almost certainly have a part 2 of this.
For sure.
And 3.
And maybe, 20 even. And it will go on. And, and we are still taking suggestions. Yeah. So if you're thinking, my, I don't know, cigarette lighter is badly designed as well. So, let us know.
That's a very niche one, that. I mean, does anyone smoke anymore?
That's a good point as well. Don't know. I mean, discussed that, didn't we? The cost of fags.
There's probably a joke there about, a dying breed or something, but we haven't got time for that.
No.
We won't explore it. Okay.
Right.
So do you want to kick us off?
Okay. So this is something that happened in the last couple of years, and everybody is pissed off about, and yet it's still happening. So now when you buy a plastic bottle of any kind, the fucking lid is attached. And even on a milk carton, it's happening. So,
really?
So, yeah. So now you unscrew the thing and it's there. It's still there. So if you're taking a sip out of it, you get poked in the eye with a lid. If you're trying to pour it into your cereal, it now, instead of just pouring straight out, it just gets caught on the lid thing and then spills everywhere.
Yeah.
They're sort of sharp and awkward and spiky, and so you get caught on that when you're twisting it. And it's for recycling, but what? How? I can recycle it by taking the lid off and putting it back. You don't need to. This is. Are we all so stupid that you need to babysit us and put the bottle cap stuck on? Come on. This is...
It's someone somewhere in an office or a group of people probably that have decided that bottle tops are such a problem that they have to be fixed. I guess... So if you think about this, the comparable is the ring pull on the can.
Right.
Do you remember back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
You would pull your ring pull and it would come off.
Yes.
And then you had this bloody ring pull to deal with.
Yeah. And they stopped all that. Yeah. Well, you could make a little... You ever do that where you take the springy part and the circle part and put them together and then flick it across the room at your buddy, at your mate, and flick him in the ear?
Good times.
Were the days. Yeah.
Simpler times.
Yeah.
But that worked.
That.
That was a solution that actually didn't make the thing. Actually, you could look at that and go, that worked because you didn't have a ring pull and you could still drink your drink, but unencumbered.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Attached bottle caps is not. It's a downgrade.
Well, I mean, what? But this is bad design, right? So you ever go fill up a little green petrol gallon?
Yeah.
Those have the lid attached, but it's with like a sort of loop of plastic or string or whatever it is, right? And so that gets out of the way. Why couldn't you just have a little loop of plastic so that the lid, when it opened, it moved right out of the way? And
cost.
I mean,
always a way in it.
I suppose so, but I think it's just bad design. It's just, we're going to do it like this because it's annoying and maybe it's lazy option, something like that. I don't know. It's annoying. And I reckon there'll be a revolution in this. Like, I mean, does anyone think they're good? I don't think so.
No. What's the alternative? I mean, the other way you could do it is you could get you could buy metal straws.
Oh, yeah.
You could put one in a lathe, sharpen the end down to a fine point, and then you could just stab the bottle and problem solved.
Could do that, yeah.
And you could just carry around a selection of sharpened metal straws.
Try going through the airport with that.
Well, granted, you might need a travel version.
Yeah, made of wood.
Or you could just take your file and your lathe with you.
Good idea. Yeah, why not?
There we go. See, well, I think we've solved that problem too.
Yeah,
okay.
Bang.
So what we got
Moving
next?
on then. So toasters. Well,
Jesus Christ.
Don't get me started even.
I don't even know if we should explore this one because this is going to, we could be an hour on toasters easily.
Easily, yeah. I mean, I even incorporated that into one of my books, right?
Yeah.
Bonus points if you know which one. But yeah, toasters that A, don't actually toast, and
evenly.
B, evenly or even at all in some cases.
Have you tried plugging it in?
Well, yeah. Did you notice that toasters seem to take forever lately? I don't know, like when it's racing.
This is, I think, an EU thing to do with the wattage restrictions. So it affects other things like irons and kettles and hairdryers. That there was a limit on how much power these things can consume. So essentially, that made everything slower.
Right.
And as a consequence, they're on for more. So
yeah.
I don't know what if your toaster used to take 2 minutes and it used 2,000 watts, and now it takes 3 minutes, but it's 1,500 watts. By my reckoning, you're actually using more electricity.
I have to do the maths on that, but
we have to say that we are not scientists of any description, and we may be but it does seem like it feels. You know how these things just feel like they've been foisted upon us and not properly thought through.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely bad design in some kind of sense, right? Like when you're racing against the scrambled eggs in the microwave, and the toaster loses. Like, that's ridiculous. I need my toast first because the scrambled eggs go on top.
And I think that it is worth mentioning the single biggest flaw with a toaster is the inability to get. And now I use seeded bread, right?
Yes, indeed.
I cannot begin to tell you the problems this causes because clearly the bread loses some seeds during the cooking process, and I have 2 slices every day. So after a few weeks, I have to empty it. And you have little trays at the bottom you pull out and then you tip the seeds away. However, there are errant seeds in there. And if you shake the toaster, you can hear them.
Yes.
But you can shake it upside down, back to front, left to right. Honestly, it's like doing agadoo at the bin, right? And this thing, it's still rattling. I mean, it's just...
You'd be there all day. You can't get them.
No,
I've even taken it outside and done the shake and vac dance.
That's what I do. I stand at the wheelie bin with this thing, shaking it, and you just cannot get them all out. And it concerns me, one, because I think I've cleaned this thing, but I haven't cleaned it. And it becomes like a challenge.
Yes.
You feel...
But it's also a fire hazard.
Yes.
Because, those things build up. I've actually seen a toaster catch fire because it's so full bragging. Of crumbs. This was in my chefing days a long, long time ago. And then, the waitress came up to me with a flaming toaster. Like, what do I do with this? Take it outside.
Did somebody actually ask, what do I do with this toaster that's on fire? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, wear it as a fucking hat. I mean, I would suggest chuck it in a sink and turn the tap on. I mean, that would be my best guess.
Unplug it.
One assumes if she's holding it up, that she's probably unplugged it.
I can't remember, but not necessarily. This was a very special person. Let's say
she was running around the kitchen like it was an Olympic flame or something, holding it aloft.
Yeah, it was quite an event, but I just take it outside and then we'll deal with it later. Yeah.
Okay, so toasters poorly designed on the list, definitely.
But like they get badly designed. There's surely a way to make a toaster that doesn't harbour seeds and crumbs in impossible to clean places. So get on that. And I don't want to hear bollocks about it's cheaper to make it badly. It's not. Right, make it good.
There are toasters that are 200 quid.
Really,
Bosch and Schmeg and these sort of really upmarket brands that I'm going to guess. I would never spend 200 quid on a toaster,
no,
or anything for that much. Any kitchen appliance, but I bet you they still have the same issues. Right?
100% they do.
It's not a design issue, is it? Well, no. What I'm saying is, it's not a. We're going to build it cheaply and craply.
Issue,
it doesn't matter if you spend 20 quid or 200 on a toaster. It's still going to have this crumb issue.
Big time. And this is the nub of everything here, is that the design is poor. And I think we're at a societal stage where we need to start demanding better.
Well, you imagine if technology evolved the same way that a lot of this stuff we're going to dig into had. Like, we're going to come on to the cheese grater. In fact, this is probably a good time to bring in the cheese grater, if you don't mind.
Let's go. Yeah.
Because basically we are still grating cheese with something that is just, I think, was probably designed sometime in the medieval era.
For punishing slaves.
But it is, why are we still using this bloody thing that is, not only is it hard to use because it's just pushing a piece of kind of sort of sticky block of food that doesn't want to, it's not frictionless, is it?
Yes.
So it's hard work grating cheese. The second issue is, once you get down to that nub, right, you're going to lose a part of your knuckle. Guaranteed, right?
You just have to eat that bit.
Yeah. Third thing is it's messy as hell, right? Because bits of cheese go off in all directions. It gets stuck in every bloody, it's all over the work surface. It never goes really where you want it. And then cleaning the bastard thing, right? Because you've got, a good 6 ounces of cheese stuck to the inside of it.
Yep. You can't get it out.
How have we got to 2025? Honestly, if mobile phone technology had advanced the same rate as cheese grater technology, we'd still have paper cups and string. We literally would. Why has no one invented and improved the cheese grater?
That's a good point. Massive business opportunity there. I mean, you probably see, those sort of, was it not Tupperware, but one of those kind of brands that we're
JML or something like that.
There you go. Not available in the shops.
Yeah,
for good reason. It's a shit. I bet they have some weird device, where you can grate 10 tons of cheese in 5 seconds.
I did see something at, I think it was the Ideal Home show some years ago, and it was like do you remember a meat mincer? Every home used to have this big mechanical metal thing that was clamped to the kitchen side.
Yes.
And you used to feed meat into it and crank a handle, and it would mince whatever it was that went in. Now,
those were the days.
I'm just thinking about what you could do with it. I mean, you could literally chuck anything into that, couldn't you?
Your spouse.
In small pieces, though, granted.
Yeah, well,
not necessarily for consumption, probably disposal, I'm thinking.
Well, either way, yeah. Some people are into that.
Or both. I mean, you know.
Makes it more flushable.
Yeah. She did not die in vain. She made a lovely cottage pie. I mean, literally, she didn't make a lovely cottage pie. She was a lovely cottage pie. The contents of...
Would it be a cottage pie? What would the correct name be?
Don't know. We can't go with shepherds. No.
No.
I'm going to go cottage. I mean, it's... Okay. Yeah. So back to... Anyway, so this metal... there was something similar for cheese, right? So they were presenting this as a revolution in cheese grating, which is long overdue, I think. I mean...
Yes.
Which is kind of our point here. But it was very similar to that. You fixed it to the kitchen side, and then you put your block of cheese in, and you cranked the handle.
Okay.
And it did, but it pumped out cheese, right? Grated cheese, great. But then, so the guy was selling it, and people were buying them. And then I happened to notice. I had a look inside, thinking, Jesus Christ, the inside of that thing is just going to look like a baby's nappy. I mean, it's just going to be a mess, right?
Right.
Who's cleaning that? How are you cleaning it?
Well, that's that exactly. And what the hell do you do with that? Because now that's all fixed. You'd have to rip it off the counter. And even if there's parts that are removable or something, it's going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's bullshit. When they say something's dishwasher friendly, it means, if you've got an hour to disassemble the bastard thing. And
an industrial size dishwasher.
Yeah,
because it doesn't fit, and does it go on the top or the bottom? And
there's you can't mess around with cheese, can you? Because if you leave cheese in something and then put it in a cupboard for a week,
nasty. That's in the bin then. Isn't
I'm thinking the reason why that wasn't available in the shops is because that's it. Its flaw is that you can't get access to properly extract all of the cheesiness.
Yes.
Because otherwise we wouldn't be having this conversation. We'd all be using this cheese grinder.
Right, exactly.
Cheese grinder.
Bang it in the grinder. Yeah. Oh dear. Oh Christ.
It's a subcategory. Oh dear. Right. So that I think is why are we still using medieval-y bits of metal that remove skin and someone's surely come up with something better.
There's a challenge.
Right.
Build a better cheese grater. Let's get in there. Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on from cheese graters.
Okay.
What have we got next on the list?
So bins. Now this is poignant because obviously everybody
garbage
has a bin.
Cans for
yes. Right. That's right. So it's impossible. I mean, this is probably in your kitchen, right? The bins that are around the house, not so much, because hopefully, anyway, you're not putting sort of leaky stuff into those bins, in the office or, I don't know, in the living room or whatever. If you have a bin there, it's probably just paper and bits and bobs. But in the kitchen, your kitchen bin is where it's going to be food waste and scraps. And even if it isn't food waste, like everything comes in a plastic box or something, and it's drippy, and it's the bin is going to get dirty because you're putting rubbish into it, right?
And smell.
So, but the lid. I was just having this discussion with my sister yesterday. Is the bin lids? There is no good solution here. We've got ones that
sounds very defeatist.
Well, what we've got is swingy ones, right? So those swingy ones, as soon as you've got anything in that bin, it stops swinging, and it's clogged up immediately. And you're not going to open it with your hand and then daintily put in the rubbish. You're going to be knocking the swing part open with the rubbish, and then it's going to catch all the drips.
And it swings back, doesn't it?
Yeah. Or not.
If you're too aggressive with your hand going in.
Oh, yeah. And you get caught in there as well. or you've got ones where you press a button and it opens. Well, those never, ever work, right? After the first time you do it, the button stops working. You have to get in there with your fingernail, and now you've got rubbish on your fingernail. Ugh, nasty. Then there's ones with the foot pedal. Again, instead of actually opening, it will just kick across the floor. So it's never in the way you want it. And there's just no good solution. Like the ones that sort of sense that you're nearby and electronically open, well, they're like 200 quid or something, and nobody's going to pay.
Do you have to plug
quid.
them in, or do they work with? I mean, who's got a plug in the kitchen that's
dedicated
to a bin?
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, that's maybe they need some sort of wireless charging. Got a USB for the bin.
Do you know what I find myself doing more and more is actually just taking larger stuff out to the main bin rather than putting it in the kitchen bin, because you think this is just going to get clogged up, and who's going to be emptying it? Me.
Yeah,
so
might as well
therefore, I just find it easier to take larger stuff like milk cartons. You know, the big sort of 2-litre things.
Yes.
Just take them straight out to the bin, right?
Yeah, good idea.
If you're putting 2 or 3 of those in your main kitchen bin, you're half full.
Then, yeah. So that's the wheelie bin outside, you mean?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, that is a good. I mean, but again, it's bad design here. The bin lids ought to be easier to open. The bins themselves should be in the capacity and shape that you need for an average household, and the bin bags ought to be easier to unravel and put into the thing.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing.
Try getting a bin bag open.
Try buying one that actually fits your bin.
Oh yeah, there's 8,000 different sizes and none of them fit. But yeah,
do you know why this is such a bad thing, though? Sorry to jump in at this point, because it's just occurred to me, and I have to share this because I think this is genius. Why do we not have rubbish chutes in our kitchens that just go straight into the bin outside?
There you go. Exactly. Like laundry chutes.
Yes.
In fancy
So all you have is a flap in your kitchen wall.
Yeah.
And you open the flap, drop your crap in, and it just goes down the chute straight into your wheelie bin.
Yes. That's when you win the lottery and you've got this fancy house.
But why isn't everyone doing that?
Why is that not a thing? It could
why do you have
easily
this
be
stinking pit of garbage sitting around where you prepare food?
That is a very good point. It should not be there in your kitchen. It should be outside and controlled. And if it was properly set up in the first place, then that's what. Yeah. So bin lids, big thing here. Bad design. Always going to be filthy, and nobody wants to touch it.
Well,
what are you supposed
say
to?
Nobody. Somebody has to touch it, doesn't it? I think this is what comes into the realm of what they call blue and pink jobs, right?
Oh, that's okay. What you need for the marigolds?
Well, I mean, in terms of jobs for men and women, right? It's anything bin related seems to get passed to the man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely take the bins out.
And the thing is about have you every now and again you have to take the bin outside and hose it and scrub it, right? Because there's always nooks and crannies, isn't there?
Yeah.
And over time,
what I sometimes do is pour half a bottle of bleach into it and then fill it up from the hose and then walk away and leave.
You don't actually get in all the nooks and crannies with a toothbrush.
Fuck. God, no.
Just me then. No. Talking of nooks and crannies, and obviously conscious of time, I don't think any episode where we discuss poor design is complete unless we talk about toilets, public toilets, just toilets, really.
Yeah, toilets, yeah. So, yeah, absolutely.
We did consider this being a standalone episode. That's how much we have to unpack here, if you pardon the expression.
Right, so let's get this started. Let's get this shit on the road. Toilet seats. I mean,
why are they such a? Honestly, why do we have these things with ganky hinges that just are impossible to clean? And
I mean, they do, aren't they? They're always. You ever? This is. You ever go on one where it's a bit loose, and you sit down and suddenly you're on a fairground ride, and it's twisting around. To be honest, when I've got my arse out and effluent flowing, I do not want to be on a teacup ride. It should be a solid, stable situation, Why is it moving though? So, I mean, where's the give in that? What's the point of having the give? The stupid hinge is broken and it's not aligned properly because they're so, again, badly designed because it's easy to get the positioning of the toilet seat wrong.
Gotcha,
and
right.
You would think that, every human on the planet has to use some kind of device.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, unless they're shitting in the woods, right? Fair enough. But yeah, so why have we got this so wrong still? After what? How many hundreds of thousands of years? I suppose the Romans had toilets back in those days, but they were sort of like carved out of granite or something.
Didn't they use, so if we would go back to the olden days in England, wasn't there like you would literally just have almost like a bit that stuck out the side of a house?
Yeah.
And you would just shit into the street.
Excellent. We'll go back to
But you had no toilet seat, right?
I suppose
so in some
not.
ways that was better.
It'd be a bit chilly in the winter.
Well, there was probably a cover of sorts, I guess. I'm not saying it was an ideal situation because that's going to build up after a while, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then someone's job, probably the bloke's going to have to go down and shovel that. Yeah. I don't know where that's going. Don't want to think about that. But there was no
actual... Don't want to go back to those days, do we?
Okay, question is, why do we have toilet seats at all?
Well, because the bottom bit is too cold and the wrong shape. But yeah, so you have a good point.
Well, make it the right shape and then you don't need a seat, right?
That is a good point, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see... Because I understand that the ladies, they have issue with toilet seats in public toilets. And I'm led to believe, and this is only anecdotal, that many a woman has come up with a method of hovering to avoid buttock contamination. So
yes, hovering. Yeah,
I don't know how that works. I would like to see it. I mean, not for any pervy reason, just out of curiosity.
But you need strong thighs, I would imagine.
Yeah, and thighs. And I also wonder, and again, I've never sought clarification on this, but whether it's okay for a pee, right? Because you're there for 10 seconds?
Yeah, a few seconds.
Or whether... I don't know if we're going to ask this.
Can you commit to the full package with a hover?
Can you unbowel yourself whilst hovering?
That's got to be a talent.
Not one you're going to see on Britain's Got Talent, one assumes, anytime soon. It's a no from me.
It might be some Japanese game show. If they're into
probably. But so stuff. What? The point I'm trying to make is that clearly that no one wants their buttocks near these toilets, right? These seats. No. So what purpose are they? So apart from, one would imagine, when you are flushing away your deposit, it stops it sort of sprouting up into the...
Oh, yeah. But you could have a lid that isn't the seat.
You need a lid, right? But I suppose that's the same problem, isn't it? You've still got the hinge issue.
Yes. Unless it was some sort of thing that came out. But yeah, you're always going to have... We're not going to solve this now, right? But yeah,
I'm going to go, no, we're not.
Effluent in the wrong places and places where it's hard to clean, right? But again, with good design, you could make a better hinge that was, that you just, I don't know, hose down or something.
Well, if you could just unclip it.
Yeah, there you go.
Put it in the shower. Yeah. Oh, God, no. Did I say yeah? That's disgusting. But if you could just take it, if you could unclip
it outside
and put it in the shower and just hose it down with your shower, right? That would make it better.
It would.
Than what constantly happens is that you spray it with various chemicals and bleaches, but it never really gets into the nooks and crannies. And eventually it starts to go a bit rusty and a bit funny. The metal starts. So you then have to buy a new one. And oh my God. When was the last time you changed the loo seat?
Long time ago.
Go and change yours tomorrow, just for shits and giggles. Report back.
Christ.
You could tell the listeners how it went.
It's not fun, is it? I mean, who wants to be kneeling down in front of the toilet?
And underneath it.
Yeah.
In those dark corners.
Yes. Where cleaning is long forgotten.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
No.
I think we should probably move on to the next aspect of poor design with toilets, right?
Yeah, right. So you need, I don't know about you, but I need toilet paper with which to wipe the remainders, let's say, off. And
oh my God. You don't go clean then?
Or go commando or something.
No, I mean, you've not developed the clean exit. No. Is that what you're saying?
I don't think so.
Are you a crimper?
It's a bit personal.
Sorry.
No, well, I need to wipe. And so where do they put the toilet roll holder? Inevitably behind you. And again, I'm not an acrobat. I'm not a contortionist. So it's like it's always right behind you. You can't see it. You might, and you don't really want to turn because again, the seat might launch you across the room, and it's all a very delicate balance, right? So, but yeah, they put the bloody loo roll holder right behind you, and you just can't get to it easily. It should be. Well, humans hands are in front of you typically. That's where your eyes are as well.
Question though, even with that, is it on the left or the right hand side of the cubicle as you look towards the door? Because I noticed they're inevitably on the left.
That's an interesting thing. I don't know now. I have to catalogue those as I go through the
I am fairly certain, because I'm left-handed, I noticed these things. And I thought, okay, so whoever involved, why would they put them on the left? And I think this comes back to a cultural thing about not using your dominant hand.
Yes, there's some cultures where they won't do that, isn't there?
Yeah, one would imagine in most countries, even but then again, think I don't care which hand you use, wash your fucking hands. I mean, that's a problem solved. So it doesn't matter really if you're washing your hands thoroughly.
Yeah, you shouldn't have one shitty hand,
one eating hand. Oh God! And let's hope that your shaking hand is not the same as Nice to meet you.
But you ever touch your hands together or hold your like that? No. Wash your fucking hands. God.
But that
is a good point.
That brings us on to the final element of the whole hideous, poor bathroom toilet design, which is this is something that was never an issue, but now is, and this is the replacement of a lever with a button.
Yes, right. So the flush mechanism. Yeah. Well, remember it used to be a pull cord as well.
It did.
Back in the day.
But you could reach up, right? And you had some assurance that you weren't, or you were pulling a piece of the chain that was untouched by human hands, right?
Yes.
So there was something about that felt, it was, okay, there was some jeopardy, right? You had a 1 in 10 chance of putting your hand where somebody else's hand had been. But
you can get around that,
different times. But now, and then there was the lever where it was big enough that you could put a piece of tissue paper on and press, or use an elbow or a foot
Yes.
Which was, if you were nimble enough, then you could quite easily get your foot up there, couldn't you? And press it down, yeah?
That's what, yeah. But the buttons, what are you going to do? So you're forced to press the button in some way.
Now let's think about that button, right? Somebody's pressing it with what? I mean, they're not using their nose or their earlobe or a big toe, are they?
Probably not. Or a nipple.
Not in America.
No, definitely not. Perish the thought. But yeah, so it's going to be a finger.
Right.
And it's going to be the finger that you just wiped your ass with. Christ. Yeah, so up the arse and then immediately push
that button. Right, which you then go into press. I have a feeling now there's going to be people that are just traumatized by this episode who are just never going to use a public toilet ever again.
Which is a good, policy generally, but,
there are times. Yeah. I mean, I feel worse for women because we don't have to go into the cubicle, right? We have urinals where we can go in and not actually, and I've kind of developed the art of actually going into a toilet, having a pee without ever touching anything with my actual hands, apart from my penis, obviously. But I know the the backstory of my penis, where it's been, how clean it is, all of that, and it's my penis, right? But taps now, they're hand operated. You can go in and do the whole thing hands free, pretty much, can't you?
Yes, absolutely.
But the ladies don't have that option. They have to go into a cubicle and interact with these various things.
Yeah, that's the joys of not having a penis, I'm afraid. Yeah, but
so they can hover, right?
Yeah,
all they like. At some point, they've got to press that button.
For sure, you can't hover the button or levitate the button. Yeah.
So, top tip: a bit of toilet paper always, because this people, particularly if you've had a few drinks, right? You forget this, right? Always pull out some more. Even the toilet roll holder, though, isn't there? That's going to have
those circular wheels of death. With the teeth, the sharp teeth that you can't stick your arm in there and get it. Those rolls are never ever sticking out nicely. You have to dig in there and try and find the end.
Well, the problem is with them, that not that I have a great deal of engagement with such things, is because they're massive. They weigh a lot. Yeah. The weight of it is the pulling. What's the word I'm looking for? Right, the strength of the paper is not sufficient to pull this huge reel of.
That's right.
Paper around, so inevitably it just breaks off or rips off into tiny 3-inch shreds that are no good to anyone. So there has to become a point where it lightens.
Yeah, toilet paper again then is another area of bad design. They were like, why are they so?
It shouldn't exist, really. I mean, bidets, and I think some of this sort of East Asian countries, they just water. That's all you need, really, right? A jet of water. Yeah, everyone's happy.
Imagine this. I don't want to even say it, but if you got a lump of shit somehow on your arm, in some kind of horrific situation, and that happened, right?
Well, you're a parent, right? At some point.
Oh, right. Yes, exactly. Would you be comfortable living the rest of your day by just wiping that piece of shit off your arm with a dry piece of paper? It's not going to be clean, is it?
It's a good point. It is a good point.
Yeah, you're going to be in the shower with the detergent and the bleach, and you're going to be scraping that away properly, right? But you wipe your ass with a dry piece of paper and walk away.
Oh my God, I don't know how we're ever going to follow this. I don't know how we're ever going to have another episode because everyone's just going to.
I know.
They're going, no, none of this. They've gone too far this time. That stuff Adam said.
Yeah. 27
put me right
episodes.
Off my
and now we can't shit anymore. Oh, dear.
I think on that note, we should probably wrap up with a happy ending, right? We need one.
Yeah, let's do that because, that's we've hit the limit here.
We've ended on a bum note.
We've gone long again. Oh, very good. Where's my... There you go. I was a bit slow there, right?
You were.
Oh, dear. Okay. We'll wrap it up. We have a million more things, but we'll have to come back to that. So right. Happy endings then.
Oh, am I going or are you going? This is so slick, isn't it? Honestly, sometimes I marvel at how slick this podcast runs. I mean, it's seamless at times. I know you guys must be at home thinking, wow, these guys, they're just such professionals.
I definitely think that. I do clean some things up in the post edit.
Okay, right. I know. Just highlighted that we've messed up, and
it's all right.
Yeah, never mind.
We'll figure it out.
Do you want to tell us about your happy ending then?
Yeah, okay. I'll do that. So, some people might know this already, as I've been blasting it all over the interwebs. But recently, I have been revamping all my authory stuff. And that I mentioned it last time, didn't I? I think so. My new website, my new blog, blah, 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 right? Well, I also had this ridiculous notion the other day. Why don't I do my own little podcast? It's nothing like this one at all, really. Nothing as interesting even. But this would just be a sort of semi-weekly, not going to be weekly, not even going to be bi-weekly, but whenever I fit it in, a little podcast of a sort of summary of what I'm up to in my authory world and my blog and my short stories and this, that, and the other, right? So I made, and again, I have all this nice fancy audio equipment lying around, and I kind of felt bad for not using it enough, because we just don't have time to do 50 pods a week. But yeah, so it's called Need a Little Podcast. And we'll probably put a link in the show notes. And it's just me ranting on for a little bit about this, that, and the other. So if you're interested, you might want to subscribe. It's already had quite a few downloads, so thank you for people who have already listened.
I have listened to it. And do you know what? I have to say that I'm not just saying this because I feel obligated, but I tried doing a solo podcast, and it was... Yeah. It was a one-episode wonder. It was so bad. I don't think people understand how hard it is.
It is, yeah.
Just to talk without someone else there. It is incredibly difficult. Without umming and ahhing every 30 seconds, every 10 seconds. It's really, it's a difficult thing to do. So hats off.
Thank you. And I if you'd have asked me a few weeks ago, even, would you do a solo podcast? I'd be like, nah, because it's really good to have you to talk to be honest.
Thanks. Said no one ever.
Yeah. And it's just that it makes a more natural thing. And so, doing it on your own is very, very different. But I did a bit of
like
prep.
Sex, I suppose, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Not that I would try that with you, mate. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, genuinely, that's, I think, we're in full agreement with. Thank you. I didn't mean. Forget it.
Anyway, but Christ, what was I saying? I did some prep and I wrote down what I wanted to do, and then I sort of just ran through it as if it was a sort of work presentation, which I have to do quite often, right? So it wasn't as bad as I thought to be sort of focused and have somewhere to go, and because I had made a plan. So. And I did it with the help of my buddy, as you might talk about.
Yes.
So,
I think, are we going to put a link to your podcast in the show notes? I think we should.
Might as well.
I don't know if you did it last time because you were in charge of.
No, I hadn't. I didn't even have it then. This is brand new.
Right. Well, there we are. Yeah. So as soon as you finish this episode, listeners, you can go straight into Adam playing solo.
There you go.
There we are. There's something to. You're getting a double dose of Adam.
Yeah. More than probably double what anybody ever actually wanted or asked for, but there you are.
Well, listen, I for one thought it was very good. No,
good.
It's a nice length as well.
God. There you go. That's what she said. Oh dear.
Oh, moving on. So my happy ending. This is a weird one, right? Because it's more of an evolution than an actual ending. But I started dicking around with Chat GPT and other sort of LLM AI bots a while back, and actually it was you that convinced me to upgrade to the paid version of Chat GPT, the bot as we refer to it, because the Chat GPT, who branded that's a terrible name.
It's a really, really bad name, isn't it? It needs a better name.
Does definitely does. So we call it the bot for convenience. And over the last 4 weeks, where I've been a paid subscriber, that thing has honestly kind of blown my mind in many ways, because I think people don't understand how incredibly powerful and useful it is in so many different ways. So
that's right.
I've used it for analyzing my book data, for organizing trips, for brainstorming ideas, for plot lines, for characters, for looking at my accounts, all manner of stuff. You can just throw data at this thing, and it just, even to the point where you can, if you've been scribbling notes, right, on a piece of paper, you take a picture and upload it, turns it all into text. And then say you've got a bank account, right? Bank statement, sorry. Take a picture of the bank statement, upload it. It will pull all of that data in there and put it in a table for you. It is ridiculously powerful. And for the Adam and I's of the world, who are, one-man band operations, who have a finite amount of time in any given week. And, on top of the podcast, we write books and, admin and accounts and all this other crap to do. It limits how much we can actually do and create in terms of content, like whether that be a book or more podcasts, whatever. So this thing has just liberated, and I think we're only just scratching the surface of what this thing can do. But I got to a point this week where I kind of analysed how much time it had saved me, and it was 6 hours in a week, right, just in doing mundane everyday tasks. And that's, time is the one precious resource that, we all have a finite amount of, and we can't buy any more. So for $20 a month, this thing paid for itself within the first few days.
Definitely, yeah.
So, and I think we're both kind of a little bit excited now about how the opportunities this sort of opens up for us both. And obviously you'd be able to create a podcast now and do your blogging and your OnlyFans page. All of that is kind of, in part down to the fact that the bot has freed up some time for you. Exactly.
And that's, I think people really got the wrong end of the stick when everyone's making silly little pictures of themselves in weird positions because the bot's helping them do that, or we're well past the stage where you say make a picture of somebody and it's got 5 arms and 7
penis
heads
on the forehead.
All of that has been ironed out with the especially when you pay for ChatGPT, you get a much better service, right? It's not just a silly toy. It started off maybe in everybody's head, it's just a gimmick and we do these silly things and we make a Muppet version of ourselves, or we ask you to write a poem about something silly, right? Or I think we've flushed all of that out of our heads, at least we have.
Or there was the other side of it where people were catastrophizing about I mean, who's to say that 20 years from now we are not all subject to our AI overlords, but certainly at the moment I think that was the way people went. It was just a trivial toy thing that would probably go away, like a fad.
Yes.
A bit like Friends Reunited, maybe.
Yeah, remember that.
Yeah.
But yes, it's not. It's it's a hammer, and we've got lots of nails that need hammering rather than pushing in with our fingers.
I would say it's an entire toolkit, just to stretch that metaphor, right?
Indeed, exactly.
It's got everything in there that you could use that you'll need for 90% of the jobs that you need to do day in, day out. Yeah,
for sure. And it's so incredibly powerful. And, we've said this a million times today, is if you're not learning, let's position that in a different way. You don't need to sit down and do a course and figure out how to use AI. You just need to use it and talk to it, and it will tell you. You know, you probably will see a million stupid things on X or Facebook or Instagram, right? And you should be doing this course about how to. Those are just scams, right? You don't need any of that crap. What you do need, though, is to get familiar with it, make it your friend, and make it work for you, because everybody else will. And
in time.
Yeah, and you just don't want to let it go by and dismiss it as just a silly gimmick and a toy, because it certainly isn't, right?
You do not want to be that person still using a Windows phone in 2025.
Yeah, exactly. This is the we were saying before, right? This is the equivalent of, you know, getting in at the start of the internet or making a search engine before Google, right? This is revolutionizing the world very, very quickly, and it changes every hour, maybe every day, every week. Something gets better, and it's happening whether you care or not, whether you like it or not, right? And so you may as well be on the train, right? Or
do you know what it can't do, though? And I don't think it'll ever be able to do, is talk absolute bollocks for an hour and 20 minutes.
There is that. You can actually make one. There is one that will make a podcast, but it is a bit weird, to be honest. Yeah. It's not. Like,
they're not going to touch the subjects we some might argue though that's a good thing. But
good thing, yeah. But look, and a lot of people worry about the wrong things. Again, is that it's going to replace people and things like. It's not true, right? It's
unless you're a web designer or a copy editor. Or a proofreader.
Some of those things.
Or an accountant.
Yeah, well, those, yeah. What have the Romans ever done for us? But but we don't use it to write the books or the podcasts or the posts or the stories or anything like that. It does everything else. All of the crap that we, you know, as a writer, I like writing. I don't like marketing. I don't like having to code HTML, proofread. Oh God, yeah. So this friend of mine in the phone is now doing all of the churny, bollocky, miserable stuff that I don't want to do.
The time-consuming stuff. That's the key thing, isn't it?
Exactly. And I wasn't going to pay somebody to do those things anyway. I just had to do it myself. And now the bot does it, and now I literally have more time to do better stuff. It's the promise of technology, right? Is that, you know, we don't need to work. We just, you know, we can go and do art. That's what's happening.
And on that note, I guess that maybe coming down the line, because just very quickly before we wrap up, because we've run over massively again. Based on the survey, which is still live if you want to contribute, the link will be in the show notes. But more than half of you, that's as many as 3 people, have said that you want weekly episodes. So that may be coming down the tracks. Right. I'm going to say by popular demand. I'm just going to say by, you know, a majority demand, right? So it's like Brexit levels demand for, it was a 48-52 with some people saying, I don't give a shit.
Right, okay.
So, but the more opinions, the better, right?
Yeah. Let us know. Fill in the survey if you haven't already, and probably you haven't. And yeah, we don't know. But absolutely, for us to be able to do that, we'll need assistance from our AI overlords, because there just isn't enough hours in the day.
And some money would be nice.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. We haven't talked about that.
No, we left it right to the very end. We'll get the begging bowl out.
Right. So if you would like to support us, buymeacoffee.com/middleraged, and you can donate a few quid, throw it our way, and it keeps the lights on, keeps us peddling on the pod platform, whatever those metaphors are.
Perfect. Right, I think that's just about done for this episode. We will definitely be back with a
another bad design.
Another bad design clutch, because I think that's a list that can go on and on. So to be continued, ladies and gentlemen. But for now, cheerio.
Yep, take it easy.